Hi, this is Allison Bartlett, Senior Manager of the Disability Programs for the Huntington's Disease Society of America, and I'm continuing to tell you about how to prepare for a Social Security disability application. So we've already talked about the importance of getting medical care and medical evidence, the importance of planning for stopping work. So this week we're going to talk about gathering evidence, and gathering evidence goes along while you're getting medical care, while you're planning to stop work. But gathering evidence is so important because you cannot get approved for disability if you don't have any evidence. So what I mean when I say gathering evidence, making sure you're talking to your clinical care team, letting them know that you're going to apply for Social Security disability so you can start getting your medical records. You can get a medical letter of support. Your doctors need time to be able to get those things for you and to write a good letter. You can't ask them and expect them to give you one the next day. A lot of times these medical letters take a lot of time, and it helps if you give them a few weeks notice. And while Social Security does legally request your medical records from a medical record processing facility, this means it doesn't go to your doctor, it can be really helpful to already have your medical records on hand. One, so you have an idea of what's in them, but two, so you can submit them when you actually submit your disability application. So it can help reduce the amount of time it takes to actually process your claim. Waiting for medical records is one of the things that can really slow down a Social Security disability claim application. So if you can, go ahead and get your medical records. And a lot of times you don't actually need printed copies. If you can download medical records from your patient portal, if you can send a medical record request through your patient portal to your doctors, and then just have copies on your computer, most of the time now you don't actually need physical copies of the medical records. And then in addition to getting your medical records, I always personally recommend getting letters of support from friends, families, and your employer. The reason for this is your medical records only tell part of the story because you don't see your doctor every day. You maybe see them once every 3 to 6 months. Getting letters of support from friends and family can fill in the gaps in your medical records, can help create a clearer timeline, and they can see things that are going on that you may not be able to see in yourself, or that your spouse may not be able to see because you're just too close to the situation, and because HD is progressive. It changes over time, and someone who maybe sees you once a week, once a month, they may have a different insight that could really help. And I have seen letters be the difference between an approval and a denial. I will link to my sample letters below. And getting a letter from your employer can be really helpful because Social Security needs to see that you cannot do your past work or any other work. Getting a letter from your employer about how you've been struggling to do your job is really helpful evidence. And then throughout the gathering evidence process, this also gives you the opportunity to talk to your providers if there's any additional things that you need for your claim, if there's anything that you're missing, if you want neuropsych test, if you need additional cognitive testing, physical testing, occupational therapy testing, swallowing testing. That really opens the door for you to have that conversation, because it's not just beneficial for your Social Security disability claim, it is also beneficial for your care in general. But again, as you're preparing for the application, the more evidence you gather ahead of time, and this also includes keeping a journal to track your symptoms and limitations, good days and bad days, so you have more written evidence to put into your application. All of that helps. So when the time comes, you're not trying to figure out in that moment how to answer questions. You're not trying to figure out where evidence is. You have everything gathered. It makes the application process significantly easier. And if you have questions, you can always ask Allison, helping the community one disability question at a time.